Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
Richard.
Megan.
Diane.
And we're here wine tasting
Yes, we are.
some Pinot.
Okay, so
Pinot Noir.
what is this wine? It's fabulous. I love it. What is this called?
Arancet.
Is that the appellation?
Burgundy?
Or is that the name of the winery?
That is the appellation.
Okay. So Benoit Quentin is the
Would be the winemaker.
maker?
Yeah, the winemaker.
Okay. Benoit Quentin.
So this
C-A-N-T-I-N.
this is up near Chablis in the northwest part of Burgundy, which is not very well known. It was very popular at the turn of the century. You know, you go to the best restaurants in Paris, and this would be very popular. But it was just called Burgundy. Then in 1998, they got their own appellation, LLC. It's 100% Pinot Noir. It's from Burgundy, and it is, you know, a little more minerality, a little more acidity than some of the Burgundies in the other regions of Burgundy and some of the.
I taste a lot of fruit.
Yeah, that's a unique
Yeah, but it's quite dry.
region. I haven't heard of it. I didn't know that was part of a
very unique.
Burgundy.
And
But Burgundy's the home of Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
it is. It is
birthplace.
it is
It's the
literally
motherhood.
it's the mecca for Pinot Noir lovers in the world. This is where, you know,
That's so cool.
people, collectors, wealthy collectors spend thousands of dollars a bottle on certain Pinots. But it's also grown in many other areas of the world. We're going to experience a couple of them here today in the new so-called New World, North America. But it's also produced very popular now in New Zealand and Chile and southern Argentina. So Pinot Noir and it's interesting because it's not as full-bodied a grape as, say, like Cabernet. And it's interesting, in the 50 years I've been in the wine business, I've noticed certain things. People often start with the sweeter wines, and then they'll try a Chardonnay, that's good. Then they'll try a Cabernet, then they like those big reds. But as they keep drinking wine and their palate keeps evolving, they often end up Pinot heads, Pinophiles.
It's true. A lot of people like
You
Pinot.
actually
That's so
literally
funny.
just
Pinot Noirs.
described my
Right?
journey through wine.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right?
Really?
Sweet, and then Chardonnay, like Kendall
Yeah.
Jackson and
Yeah.
Ron Bauer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Cab, and I was into Zins, hugely into Zins. And then now I can't. They're just too big for
Yeah,
me, too strong, too
exactly.
much alcohol,
Yep.
too much fruit.
I hear
do
you.
not like the fruit bombs anymore. And now, if I drink red, it's Pinot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love, and I also love Rhônes. I love like a good
me too.
GSM or something.
A nice Grenache.
A Grenache or a
Yeah.
Mourvèdre blend.
Yes.
And Arizona actually makes
Yeah.
really good wines like that. But anyway, yeah, you just described my whole
I love it.
History of wine tasting.
It's quite
for my
common.
life.
It's
Yeah.
quite common.
I didn't know
yeah.
that I was
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's not
So
basic.
how are you, Chet? Chet
Well,
is
I
very
realized,
picky with
Diane,
bets.
you need to bring your mic up to your mouth if you want anybody
yeah.
to hear you at all.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
for, because
I'm
Chet's got
in.
his,
Here I am.
he's got his headphones on and that'll make, yeah,
So,
that's
no,
important.
this
Yeah,
is
it's
a wine I wouldn't
This-
sit around and drink by itself. A wine like this,
Really?
with
I
its
would.
structure, needs food.
I
And
like
food-
Oh,
this
I
is
like
really
it just
good
on
with
its
food.
own.
I like it by itself too.
I like it by itself.
smells
Well,
right.
luckily, you brought some aspic
Yeah.
to eat.
Yes.
And what is aspic, Chet?
Aspic is the
Richard
stuff that's
looks
on
like a
top
guy
of
that likes to eat
pate.
aspic.
Yeah.
So we've been eating some pate with crackers. The
Aspic
is
is
this like,
on the top of pâtés for sophisticated palates only. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, that means you're, you know,
how do we spell aspic?
ASPIC. ASPIC.
If you need to learn more, just read Julia Child's
Yeah.
cookbook.
Really?
Mhm.
She'll talk about aspic?
Oh yeah.
What is
Okay.
it on top of, though? That's a liver pate, right?
This
Yeah.
is a chicken liver, mushroom, truffle pate.
It's
And pâtés
delicious.
are traditionally covered with a thin layer of aspic, which is a gelatin,
Which helps
a
them
flavored
keep
gelatin.
longer.
But
Yeah,
what's the definition of a pate?
Of pate?
Yeah, because Chet doesn't know. Chet
Yes,
doesn't
I
eat
do.
pate.
It's a
Oh.
blended, like, dip. Why are you trying to accuse me of not knowing when you're clearly ignorant?
I know pate because my grandma ate pate like daily.
Yeah.
So
And
why are
she lived to
you
be
imposing
105.
ignorance on me when I know what it is?
Just because I've never seen you eat it, I just didn't think you knew. But good, I'm ignorant about
Yeah.
you not. You ate it, or you knew what
No,
it
it's
is.
delicious. This one's really delicious.
Yeah, I've been
Very
out of the
good.
house
Trader
before.
Joe's.
Very good.
TJ's is
Very
Yeah,
yummy.
no, I
It's
like this.
great.
It's a winner.
And
Okay,
what
so
what
I
is
would
the
rate
cheese
this.
that we're pairing with it?
Oh, that's a smoked Gouda, smoked cheese from the Netherlands.
Does anybody need a little
No,
more
we have
tasting?
some other wines to taste here if you're interested.
Well, so we're all going to give our rating on this one because we've got 4 to taste. Let's start with Diane.
I think this is great. I like the minerality. There's a tiny bit of sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. And there's some fruit, but not overly fruity either. So I would say like maybe a 8.
Okay.
It's
It's supposed to be on a 100-point scale.
Okay.
80.
Is it?
So
I
Yeah,
don't
with
know.
wine rating, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know how you were gonna do
Yeah, like
it.
when a bottle's rated like a 97 or a
8,
98,
that's
it's
true.
not on a scale of 10.
Okay,
80
so what would you rate
Yeah.
this?
I said 80.
Okay, 80. Okay, Megan's next. Give us your description.
Yeah, that's like a pretty horrendous score.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's like a C- basically
okay,
in the wine world.
Oh.
That's like what a lot of people would give barefoot.
Actually, that's not true.
No, I
This
think
is really
Most
delicious.
decent wines are at least like an 88 or 89.
I
Yeah.
don't use the scoring at all.
I don't use it at
I'm
all
really
either.
not a fan of scoring. I could care less.
I
But
like
if that's
the
what
scoring.
we're doing, then we have to.
No,
I'm
when
not
I
doing it.
when I buy something that's scored high, I usually like it. So I agree with the scoring.
Yeah,
So,
that's-
yeah. Okay, so-
I think that it's all subjective.
Totally.
If you like it, then that's what's important.
Totally.
If you don't
Yeah.
like it, then don't drink it.
Yeah.
And then no one should judge you for that.
Well,
I love that.
it is subjective.
This
That's why
is- yeah.
we all
This
are
is-
grading it on the same scale.
Yeah.
You can give it any score you
I'm
want
not
to.
grading
If
it
you
on
hate
any
it, you can
scale.
give it a
I
1 out of 10
honestly,
or 100.
I don't drink a lot of Burgundies, but this is a very delicious wine. So
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, 94.
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna
That's
say like a
good one.
91.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't get to drink a lot of the really amazing ones though. I
Yeah.
do admit that I like a lot of barnyard on a Pinot. I like
Mhm.
really like earthy,
Sure.
barnyardy,
Yeah, yeah.
almost like poopy smelling Pinots.
Poopy Pinot.
Yeah, and
Give
there's
me a
different
poopy
versions,
Pinot.
there's
Yeah.
different degrees of poopy, believe me.
Well, that's usually
this
often
you
that's
can
caused
almost-
by a bacteria called what is it?
It's like manure smell.
They call it the spice.
Goes
And
well
you
with
like
a
that?
poo-poo platter.
I don't
too.
mind it.
Platter.
A
Good.
poopy Pinot and a poo-poo platter.
Yeah.
No,
Not a romantic
Oh my God.
appetizer.
Oh, yeah.
The Brett they
Brett.
call it, and they call
Yeah.
it the spice because
I
in
like
a lot
it.
of older wines, traditional wines made over the years,
Uh-huh.
it does get into some wine, and it does add that kind of
It does.
flavor that
And
you're
old
talking
world
about.
wines are what you're
Now,
gonna
if it gets out of control in a winery,
yeah.
then they have to,
Yeah.
they have to tear it down and start over again. I mean, it can really be destructive.
Yeah.
But it's actually been called the spice
I didn't
among
know that.
winemakers.
That's funny.
Yeah, Brettanomyces.
That
Well, I
sounds a
guess
little
I
better
like
than
that.
poopy.
It's a bacteria.
A
Yeah.
little more appetizing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
a little poopy, yeah.
Barnyardy, that's why I say barnyardy.
I
Yeah,
don't think
it
I
is.
would be.
That's more appetizing.
It's more like
I don't think I would
earthy,
enjoy
barnyardy.
that. Would you?
No. Well, I don't know.
It's not to taste, it's just that's how it smells.
No, it's not
Mm.
an overwhelming. It's a spice. That's why I call it the spice. It's a little thing that you'll notice that some
detected
people
it.
won't even notice.
I think you grew up with
It's-
horses or something because my
Me?
ex would walk
Yeah, yeah.
and we'd be walking
I don't get
around
much of it
the
in
ranch
here,
and he'd be
no.
like, he'd smell
I
some
get it though.
horseman and he'd go,
No.
oh, this smells
Most-
so good. So maybe you need to find my ex. He loved that scent.
I don't need any
Or
man.
smell.
What do
no.
you rate it as?
Okay, I would rate this as 95 because I think it was the price was very affordable, $35.
That shouldn't be included in the rating.
Well, to me it is because it's not like it was $100. And
No,
you
it's
know,
all supposed to be
No.
how it tastes. That's
Yes.
what you're
okay,
rating.
okay, thank you.
Not-
You're right. You're accurate. I think the taste is like a 10.
Oh my god.
I love the taste.
Out of 100, that's terrible.
Oh, okay. Out of 100, it would be. You're right. Out of 100, 95.
This is why
I give it
I
95
don't rate
points.
wines.
95.
Here's my
It's just a
comment.
fun game to play. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm not
But
playing.
what's the
95.
next one we're gonna do?
Well, wait a minute.
And can I
will-
say what I'm not done? I'm talking about what I taste. I taste cranberry. I taste boysenberry. I taste a little bit of apricot. I taste a little bit of sardines. And I taste a
Sardines.
little bit. Yeah.
Which also could be our minds playing tricks on us because of what we're eating with the wine.
I don't taste that.
Yeah, I don't-
Could that be?
Maybe I
I
don't.
think you
taste
need
it.
to brush your teeth.
And I
with
taste some
sardines.
figs.
What do you have in your mouth?
And I could taste some figs.
from the fake butter.
Fake butter though, not the
Could be,
wine.
but anyway, I give it 95 points. I think it's delicious. I love it.
Good, I'm glad
And
you
I-
like it.
And I
Wonderful.
think being from France, being from Burgundy, the motherhood of all Pinot Noirs, I think it's really drinkable. I think it's quaffable.
Mhm.
And I think that if I was going to someone's house, I'd bring this. It was $35 from Faraway Wines, Far and Away Wines, and it's a
Far
supporting
Away
local.
wines, yeah.
Supporting
Great
local.
wine shop,
Pat
wine
and Chris.
bar.
Go shop there.
Go see
Arizona.
Pat and Chris at Faraway Wines on
Yes.
Indian School between
We
32nd.
told them we plugged them. Woo!
Ironically, not that far away. Pretty close.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Not that far away, but they have wines from far away.
So to
But
me,
yeah.
this wine
I love it.
is a good wine because it's a well-made wine. It has the characteristics of Pinot that you expect, and it also reflects the area that it comes from. So this is a really, really good wine. I'm very happy with
All
it.
right. And what would
Very
you rate
well
it?
balanced.
Chet, did you rate it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't remember?
I thought you said 90.
91.
91. You said 80, I think.
But then you changed it, didn't you? Change
Well, it was 8 out of 10, but then we switched the scale. So
8 out of 10 sounds better, doesn't it?
it?
does. No, I like it more than like
I said 95, and what did you
All right.
say?
I could change it.
Now
Yeah.
let's move. Let's
I'll
have
do the 90.
Let's go
Okay,
to this
all
one's
right.
next.
Gabe, what would you give it? A scale from 1 to 100.
I like it. I don't know.
You don't have
You don't need to rate it.
0.5.
You don't have
out of 10.
We got 85.
Okay, 85.
All right.
Okay, so 85. Okay, here we go. That's it. Wine number 2, everyone. Woo!
This
On
one
our
is
Pinot
from
tasting.
Willamette Valley.
Okay.
Sorry, do you?
And what's it called?
I cannot see the label. Ask Richard. He can tell you.
How
it's-
important is it to refresh the palate with something else in between, like some water or cracker? Isn't it pretty important?
It can
So you're
be.
not-
Yeah.
You know,
That,
if you're
it
at,
depends
if
on what
at
you're
a-
drinking.
It's really not crucial in this circumstance.
I would think if
I
you're
mean,
switching between something
can
similar, it's
Have
even more
have
crucial.
have a sip of water. if
Oh
you
yeah, I
like.
just had
I
some.
can
No,
see
that's
how you
fine.
would think that.
Yeah.
For sure. I know when you're doing tastings, like at a tasting room, when I worked at one and when I've poured at the festivals for like Carlson Creek and Patriot
Yeah.
Cellars and all those guys, the best thing to rinse someone's glass with is the next wine they're going
That's
to drink
right.
with.
Yeah, don't rinse the
Don't ever
glass
rinse
with
it
water.
with water because water,
It'll water it down.
unless it's like perfect bottled water, it's gonna taint the glass. First
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
you won't really know it, but it does leave an aroma. But yeah, so anyway, but in this, we're drinking all Pinots, so I think it's kind of okay to not be
Yeah,
swishing
we're
our
fine. We're fine.
glasses
You know,
out.
you can
But
do
that's
it if
a
you
really
want. It's not
valid
bad
question.
ideas. It's okay.
So that is a good question. And what are we drinking?
So this
Here we go,
is-
Richard.
now, let's
Richard,
talk
that's the
about
wine.
let's talk about Pinot Noir in the New World. You know, California has been huge for Pinot Noir. Created many wineries that became very famous for Pinot Noir.
Even more so than Burgundy?
Well, in this country, yeah.
Yes.
You know, the average American doesn't know from Burgundy, but they certainly know California Pinot Noirs. And then along came Willamette Valley in Oregon, northern Oregon.
Oregon
And
makes great Pinot in general, but
Yeah.
Willamette is known to be.
that's what. Yeah, no, there are other areas of Oregon that make wines like Southern Oregon, but not Pinot. Pinot is made in Willamette. That's
okay.
that's where it's become world famous. And the interesting thing is that when compared to California Pinot Noirs, this is closer in style to Burgundy Pinot
This
Noirs.
is? So
Yes.
Willamette. How do I pronounce
Yes.
that? Willamette?
Willamette.
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 Damn it. Okay.
Willamette.
Yeah.
Willamette,
And
damn it.
usually,
Chet, can you say Willamette?
know, for instance, okay, this one from Burgundy, 13% alcohol,
Uh-huh.
typical for Burgundy.
Okay.
Some are even 12.5, between maybe 13.5.
Mhm.
This one from
That's by your
Oregon
thumb.
here,
By your
Willamette,
Willamette.
is
By your left thumb.
13.5.
Okay,
So
same.
less than your
Oh,
typical California
Right.
Pinot. Also, it's on the 45th degree parallel, which, you know, corresponds with Burgundy. If you go around,
Yes,
Right?
yes, that's true.
So
I remember
anyway,
looking that up.
Northern Hemisphere.
The nose on this one is a lot more interesting and
Yeah.
exciting
Oh,
and
yeah.
bold.
oh yeah,
And same with the taste.
yeah. No,
This
this
one's gonna
is.
get a way higher
This
score
doesn't
for me.
taste.
I agree.
Doesn't taste like Burgundies, but it's
I agree.
closer
It's more
to
intelligent.
I
Burgundy
agree.
in style than most California Pinots. And
I went on a date with
It's-
somebody that said this wine tastes so intelligent.
Mm,
I'm going to use that word. Isn't that great? It's so intelligent.
sounds
I actually kind of like that.
Sounds
picture.
unintelligent, in my opinion. But
I think it's clever. It's cute. Depends on who you're with and who's saying it. I
oh,
guess.
that's so good.
If you like the person.
See,
or
this
not.
Oh, that's
is-
funny. That's true.
Yes.
When we
Yes.
taste these California Pinots next, you're going to see how this style is closer to Burgundy. You really that'll put it into focus for you.
Wow. I'm glad you insisted. Hold on. We were at is it Far and Away or Far Away? Okay, Far Away. We were at Far Away with Chris and Pat, and I said, I don't want to get the Willamette. I want to get New Zealand and Germany. And he had this big bitch fit about, no, we are doing,
Bitch fit.
yeah.
I'll show you.
yeah,
you want to see a bitch fit, bitch? Huh?
And he said, no, we're doing California. We got to do Willamette
Wait,
so we can compare this northern region.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
yeah.
makes sense.
And
Yeah.
then they agreed with him. So
I said,
was
okay,
like,
yeah.
they all concurred. So I
Let's
was like,
do
all right,
let's do Northern Hemisphere.
I'm flunking here.
But we should do another Pinot
Yes.
tasting sometime with Germany
International.
and New Zealand.
All international.
And Chile.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. We
Yeah.
should do that.
See,
Yes.
I didn't know that Chile
Yes.
was big on making Pinot
Pinot,
Noir.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also
That's what Chris and Pat
Patagonia, Patagonia, southern Chile, and Argentina, making incredible high elevation Pinots in Patagonia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
okay.
this
So I'm so glad you insisted because now
Willamette
I can
Valley,
see
yeah.
he wanted me to see, and everyone here that's doing the tasting, to taste the difference between California and Oregon and Willamette.
Mm-hmm.
And I
We will,
understand why.
Yeah,
It's
This is
huge. It's a huge
closer
difference.
in style to the Burgundy one.
It is. But
and-
even better. I like it better.
And it's amazing because Willamette has become again a mecca for Burgundy for Pinot lovers.
Mm.
It's
And why
amazing.
is that? Why, like,
This one's leaving my mouth really dry.
Well, it's tannic.
More than like
It's tannic. I think it's
super
yeah.
tannic for a Pinot to me.
I agree.
I agree.
And I'm
Still on my
just
tongue.
like
Well then, take a
And taste something. There you
eat
go.
something. Let's eat some. I'll eat some
Eat
fig
some
butter.
pate.
Have some Gouda.
have
Eat
some
some
aspic.
good or pate.
Or
Or
have that to Kinga.
aspic. I don't want any aspic. It looks like fat. Is it fat?
No,
No,
it's
it's
gelatin.
Gelatin.
Jello.
I know. But it doesn't look like gelatin that I want to eat.
It's actually really yummy.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
ate it by itself.
After you. Let me see you eat it.
I did. I ate it by itself already.
Okay.
I don't
We're
have
not doing it.
although you
Little
said you're
later.
not into
Aspect.
peer pressure, and that
Mhm.
you
I'm not.
think it by yourself.
And that's,
Then why would you need to watch someone else do it?
you're right. I just
That
want her to
makes
eat
no
it and I'll say,
sense.
no, I'm not doing it.
That's not good.
So just
I'll
being a
gladly
troll.
eat more. I just
Yeah.
don't feel like going over there.
So
Okay.
another interesting thing about Willamette, so winemakers in Burgundy, some of the biggest wineries in Burgundy decided, this was 25, 30 years ago, that they wanted to make Pinot Noir in the New World.
Okay.
So they came over to California,
Oregon.
They went to a lot of places in California and tasted wines there. And where did they decide to do this? Willamette Valley, Oregon. And Drouin, which is a huge name in Burgundy, big producer. They founded Domaine Drouin in Willamette Valley.
I thought it's called Domaine Drouin.
It is.
I've got so many bottles of that. You know that.
Domaine Drouin is from. You didn't know it's from Willamette?
Of course I knew that.
Well, yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah,
That's how I knew to
Yeah.
love that wine.
yeah. That's.
I went
great
to a
wine.
wedding and that was the number one place I went.
So this is the first
I have a lot of wine bottles. from there.
Burgundy producer that made Pinot Noir in the New World, and
Yes.
they chose Willamette. And now there are a couple of others that
So
How many
Domaine-
wineries are there?
So wait, so
Willamette?
then hold
Yeah.
on, Chet. Domaine
Hundreds.
Drouin.
Oh, so
Uh,
it's that big.
wait,
Hundreds
yeah.
of wineries.
Wait,
Wow.
wait, Chet.
That's that whole
Domaine.
region then.
But
Yeah.
Domaine
I'm in the middle of
Drouin.
asking questions.
But they originated in France,
Okay.
Domaine
and
Drouin, yeah.
and then
That's not even what I'm asking about.
some of their
I'm asking
family
about the
members
size
came
of
and
Willamette
opened up a
Valley.
Well, it's not as big as
in
Napa,
Oregon.
but it's sizable.
Hundreds of wineries. That's sizable.
No, it's very big.
It's
very big.
become so popular that
And it's
you know,
beautiful.
I mean,
It's a beautiful winery. I've been there
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
I love it.
yeah. So that's why I wanted.
I
to
dated somebody that's a big
include-
wine collector of
That's
that
why I
place.
wanted to include Willamette in this tasting.
We used to have the
Yeah.
Drouin Pinot. This is the. I'm trying the Burgundy again.
Oh,
so I'm
Good. Good to compare it.
gonna- well, yeah.
It's good to compare it.
We used to have the Drouin by the glass at Tea Cooks.
Sure.
You did?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Domaine
love it.
Drouin.
We might
I've
still
been there.
have
I
it.
visited as
I
well.
have to say, I'm not sure.
I had
I don't
the
sell wine at lunch.
back when I was a retail buyer.
See this? I like
I think it was the
this.
early
My favorite.
2000s. I had the
Okay,
distinct
I'm gonna-
pleasure of
Oh.
attending what they call Pinot Camp. They started. This was the greatest piece of marketing I've ever seen for wine. So a bunch of the kind of pioneers in Willamette Valley got together and said, "Let's do a Pinot Camp, a 3-day event." By invitation only, we'll invite people from all over the country who are sommeliers in restaurants or retail wine buyers,
Mhm.
and restricted to 200 people. And they do it. They did it. I think they started in 2000, maybe. And they'll bring them up here. They'll have to get up here and themselves. And we have we'll arrange for good prices in motels and hotels. And we'll have this Pinot camp, in which they'll learn a lot about Oregon Pinot. And it was incredible. So they split you up into 4 groups, and every day a bus would come and pick up 50 people and would go around to different wineries and do barrel tastings and learn about their wine. And then each night there'd be a dinner at a winery would host a dinner for all 200 people, and
Sounds
all these
amazing.
wines
Yeah,
would
it
be.
does sound amazing.
So it became the, you know, the industry event to get invited to. And they're still doing
Wow.
it. They're still doing it. But that did more than anything to put Willamette on the map
My
nationally.
friend Audrey,
Yeah.
who will be here with us someday. This time
Someday.
at Maple and Ash. We just went to that.
Oh, great.
I'm not 100%
Wonderful.
sure that it was that, but I think it was
Yeah.
because it was an all Pinot
Yeah.
and it
Incredible.
was for a couple days, and they.
Was it in
They-
Willamette?
I don't
No,
remember.
no,
That's
no,
the
no.
thing.
They're doing this now in Russian River. They're
See,
doing
that's
it
the
in
thing I'm not sure.
California. Yeah.
I could
no.
text her and find out, but
Yeah, and they didn't. Yeah,
they
this
had
is,
a
they
toga
started
party.
this whole.
They had a toga party one night.
Yeah.
Everybody was in like
Yeah, yeah.
togas and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
How fun.
I'm gonna see if I don't know where.
So
I think she
Willamette-
might have done hers in California.
And after that, I mean, Willamette just exploded.
Well, the
That
best
is so
thing I
fun.
ever did was going to this wedding at just very close to Domaine Drouin in
Yeah.
Oregon, because I realized I ruled that person out. So if you're dating somebody and you're not sure, go to a
Willamette.
wedding with them, go on a trip,
Mhm.
stay in a separate room, and you'll make a decision.
Yeah.
Pass the wine, please.
Let's start the next one.
Oh, the Lynn Court.
Let's do the Lincoln. Why don't you talk about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, here. Can you pour for me? You're over there. I can't.
Yes.
Thank you. So
Kinga, we're pouring another wine.
Wait.
I
make
know,
her
but I
drink
want
the other
another
one
sip of this
first.
one.
Well, you can have it after we taste them
Okay,
all.
okay, we're gonna taste that one. Okay,
Jesus.
okay.
she needs.
Finish that. Here.
Okay.
Okay, so we're drinking Lynn Court.
What's it called? Lynn Court?
Lynn Court. So this is a wine that was founded by Bill Foley,
Okay.
and it's named after his
Mm.
daughters, Lindsay and Courtney.
Nice.
And
That's
I have
great.
known Lindsay.
Wait,
their
Lindsay and Courtney?
Lindsay and Courtney, Lynn Court. They
How cute.
their last name is Foley, so they also have Foley Winery.
Oh yes,
Not
that's
to be
right.
confused
I
with
remember. Yeah.
Robert Foley,
Yeah,
who's
right,
down in Southern
right.
California, not him. So Bill Foley founded Lynn Court in 1996.
Because they're the 2 daughters.
Right. Well, that's the name of this particular
Okay.
winery, and then he has Foley as well.
Okay.
This was founded in 1996,
Okay.
and again, it's named after the daughters. I've known Lindsay since we were in like first grade, and
Oh,
we were
that's
friends
cool.
until 5th grade, and then she and her family moved to California. they lived in Newport Beach, and then they lived in Santa Barbara, and I don't know if they still have the home in Santa Barbara. It's in Hope Ranch. That's where she got married. I went to her wedding in 2005. So one of the reasons I wanted to do Pinot, and that we almost did it, we were going to do it last month, and then doing it now, was because the movie Sideways celebrated its 20th anniversary recently.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to watch that with you. I haven't seen
it's
that
so much
since
fun.
it came out. I love that movie.
So much fun. So that movie came
Great
out
movie.
in 2004, and the following year, October 22nd, and then the following year, I don't remember the date, but maybe October 16th or 18th or somewhere around there, of 2005, I went to Lindsay's wedding at her parents' home in
Wow.
Hope Ranch in Santa Barbara. Very, very wealthy, beautiful area.
Yeah.
The home, like their backyard is like bigger than a football field. I mean, it's just amazing. And
Wow.
I don't know if they still have the home or not. I think that her parents, I think they have a home in Jacksonville, Florida. I know they have more than one home. She and her husband live part-time between Montana and part-time in Vegas, because their family owns a hockey team. I think it's hockey.
Oh.
And Bill Foley owns a lot of things. And so anyway, he started this, or founded this winery in '96. This one in particular is named after his two daughters. There are other wines in the portfolio that are named after other women in his life, other people that have influenced his life, and including his wife Carol, his mother, his aunt, and they all have their own wines that are named after them.
How adorable.
Yeah, and so they do different varietals. They have a Cab, they have Chardonnay, they have Sauvignon Blanc, but this one,
like
the
it.
Pinot, is from Rancho Santa Rosa. The appellation is the Santa Rita Hills, Santa Rita Hills, and then Santa Ynez is where they grow the Sauv Blanc and the Cabernet Merlot. The
You're fine.
Rancho Santa Rosa is where they have the Chardonnay and the Pinot and the Syrah. So
In Santa Rita Hills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in Santa Rita Hills, but they're specifically the estate vineyards. It's called Rancho
The estate. Yeah.
Santa Rosa is
Santa,
where
Santa Rita Hills is an area
in Santa Barbara County.
that is well known for producing really good Pinots
Right.
and Chardonnays.
Yes.
But yeah,
So Lincourt
so it's very
specifically,
Burgundian.
I have been to this winery. I've not been to Foley, but this
Wow, so
one
good.
I have actually been to the winery because it was on a friend of mine picked me up in Santa Barbara the day after her wedding, and he lived in Monterey in California, and so then we took a little 3 days to do a little wine tour, and we were obsessed with the movies. We went to a couple of wineries that were in the
Sideways.
movie, like Blackjack, Calira. We went to the Los Olivos Cafe where they eat in the movie.
Yeah,
And
I've been there.
and that's right. We're outside. He's like, I'm not drinking any fucking Merlot. That's where we went and we ate. And we stayed at the Fest Parker Inn. It was really cool.
That's such a cool trip.
Yeah, it was a really, really fun trip. And I wouldn't have known about this if it weren't going to her wedding, because of course we drank the wine at the wedding the whole night. And so we went to this winery because it's on the same road as, I think it might be on the same road as Blackjack Winery, but anyway, it was right there in the area. We went to Solving and
Solving,
and
yeah.
the Hitching
Yeah, amazing.
Post, and
Danish
we did all
Village.
these. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. It's like a Christmas, little Christmas.
I remember
snow
there was
globe
a
in real
shocking part of that movie, let's not get into the details, but a nude scene.
Oh yeah, that doesn't.
Do you remember that?
That doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Okay. But I just
Um,
You're
remember.
like, let's not talk about
Yeah.
it, but then proceed to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with
It was like
it
a-
at all.
a scary one. I remember.
But no, so I love the movie. The anniversary was coming up. They had a special bottle that I actually ordered, and it was late. I ordered it in September, on September 6th or something. I paid for it and everything, but I said to I'm like, please don't ship this to me because it's so hot here in Arizona right now. And the anniversary was October 22nd. So I was like, can we just wait a month or 5-6 weeks? And she's like, oh, no problem. We'll make sure you get it.
Did you ever get it?
I got it the week after the movie. I wanted to drink it and watch the movie at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get to do that
At least
The
you got
because
it.
it
timing did
came
not
late.
work out.
So
At least you got
anyway,
it.
but anyway, that one is still at my house. I have not drunk it yet. It's called the Highliner. If you've seen the movie, Highliner is what, oh God, what's her name? Why am I thinking, blanking on
Highliner? I don't
the
know.
actress's name?
I don't know.
The blonde in Sideways, the blonde actress. Why am I blanking her name?
I don't know.
Anyway, she sits at the bar and she asks for a glass of Highliner. But that's one of their most famous wines, and so they put out a special bottle for it. And what's really funny is the on that whole week when that movie was celebrating its 20th anniversary, they had all sorts of events and wine tasting chefs dinners and all these things.
Yeah.
And on the night of the 22nd, they played the movie on the side of the building of the Hotel Californian
Oh, cool.
in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but that hotel is owned by the Foleys.
Yeah.
Good.
They own
Of course it
everything.
is. Of course it is. So
That's a great
yeah,
story.
so I was posting photos of me drinking. I did have a bottle of Highliner at home,
Yeah.
which you can't get any of the Hitching Post wines in Arizona, by the
No.
way. I was in California in July, my annual trip, and so I bought a bunch of bottles of Hitching Post because I know that you can't get it here. And I bought a bottle of Highliner, and it's usually about $45 or so. And I was saving it, and since I still had it, I drank that while I was watching Sideways, and I took pictures. And then Lindsay of Lindsay Foley, I was posting how I had FOMO because I couldn't be at the Hotel Californian, and she wrote me back on Instagram like, my family owns that hotel, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, but anyway, yeah, fun thing about me and Lindsay, we've known each other since we were little. We used to play Barbies together. She and her dad were like obsessed with Star Wars.
That's so cute that you would choose that wine
Yeah,
that
well,
you're friends with.
Well, that's why I chose this wine,
Oh,
and
great.
You know the whole story, yeah.
I ordered it for the.
Wow.
I wanted to do Pinot because of the movie,
Yes.
but then the movie led me to other places. It led me to go to on that wine tour, and then because
Yes.
I had in conjunction on that trip been to her wedding, I learned of this wine, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, if we're going to do Pinot. Yeah, yes, the movie just celebrated its anniversary. That's awesome. Yes, Highliner is an amazing Pinot. The movie's about Pinot, but Lincourt, I just thought it would be kind of a fun
Perfect.
thing to do. And
And it's delicious.
this may be available in Arizona. When
Yeah, it
I
is.
looked
Is
it
it?
up online for a retail.
I think so. Or maybe in
I couldn't-
restaurants. I think it's
well,
in the market. I remember
Well, no, it
it.
is. I know I've seen Lincourt and Foley on wine lists at
Yeah.
restaurants and whatnot. The
Yeah, some
when I looked
restaurants,
it up
some wines are
online-
restaurant only.
right
Yeah.
on premise only. When I looked online, I couldn't find it here in Arizona, so I ordered it and had it shipped to me.
Wow.
And of course, the shipping was like almost as much as the bottle,
Yeah,
which is
I know.
ridiculous.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous to ship one bottle of wine.
I ordered
Exactly.
3
You can
bottles.
ship 5
total.
bottles for the same amount.
Yeah,
You're
I got
right.
another bottle
You're right,
of
that's
Hitching
so
Post
unfair.
of something. You know, I ordered a few because I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna be paying $20
Yeah.
shipping. I may as well get.
Yeah.
A few more
But,
bottles. This, I think, is really delicious.
I haven't even tasted it. Just now.
How would
I've
you
been talking too much.
rate this one? I'd rate this like 96.
Again, this is a really well-made wine
Very well made.
from an area that is known for Pinot Noir, and it exhibits the characteristics that you
smells
expect of a
really good.
Pinot Noir from that area, and it's quite good.
So they harvest the fruit and sort it in the vineyard for this,
Yeah.
and once they bring it back to the winery, the clusters are destemmed,
Hmm.
and then and they want to keep the berries intact, and then they hand sort to remove any jack stems, which I don't know what a jack stem is.
Well,
Is
it's
that just
part
a
of the
little,
stem,
just another
you
part of the
know,
stem? And then it's
Yeah.
all transferred to small stainless steel open top
But
fermenters.
not a whole cluster.
No, it says that it just says it's hand sorted.
Yeah.
But it's probably pressed
It
gently.
just says that the
Well, that's
clusters are destemmed
That's
and
after
to
fermentation.
keep the berries intact. The fruit is transferred to small stainless steel open top fermenters, and then the juice and skins are cold soaked for 4 days
Mhm.
prior to fermentation.
Yeah.
And then they're punched down for several days.
Yep.
And then after fermentation is complete, the new wine is drained and the skins are gently pressed, and then it's aged 10 months in French oak.
Yeah.
20% of which is new.
That's good.
I googled it all today.
That's
And I
good.
was on
Well,
the
I'm
website for a
impressed.
long time today because I'm interested in wine in general, but I thought it'd be really.
I
nice
think
to
this
know
is my
about
favorite
this. The 2021 is what we're drinking, and it was a cooler and longer growing season. That usually the longer the grapes are on a vine, the
Yeah.
more fruit forward it'll be,
Yeah.
or
I
the more
like this
sugar it
style
might
of
develop.
Pinot
But,
Noir.
Anyway.
It's not as big as some Pinot Noirs
Mhm.
from California, even
Right.
from that
That one
area.
is bigger for sure.
But it's very good.
I feel like it's very exotic tasting. It tastes exotic to me.
Yummy.
It tastes like love. It tastes romance. It tastes exotic. And I feel like it's also a little bit more like unique than the others.
Well, they're all unique.
I think this one's more unique. I taste
Well,
exotic.
different than the others. but
And
sure.
spicy.
Yeah.
It's spicy. It's exotic.
Yeah.
It's romantic. I
So
love
again,
it.
Really, I
This
think
is-
the one
this is
from Willamette stands out, or Willamette.
This is reflecting.
I does too.
I guess that you have to understand. These are different regions, different terroirs.
Exactly.
So they're not going to taste the same, and that's
I
the
like
whole
that.
point.
That's
Yes.
what we
Yeah, I
like.
like
This
that
is how
Willamette
this is
one.
That's
how
what we're doing
the
this.
grape is
Willamette.
expressed
Willamette makes
in this area from this vineyard.
Yes.
Different than the grape is expressed in Willamette Valley. Different than the grape is expressed in Orancy, Burgundy.
Because you understand, it's the terroir, it's the environment, it's the, the
Yeah.
climate, it's
Now to
the
complicate
the
things
soil.
a little
the
bit.
terroir. Can you describe terroir?
Terroir is just everything: the
Yeah.
weather, the soil,
The soil, the weather,
every aspect of that.
The sun.
Maybe even the
Uh,
pollution.
Yeah.
sun or that.
Yeah,
Actually, that
everything.
does contribute.
Everything.
Actually, that contributes a lot because
Yeah.
Mhm.
you have to know about, in a few years ago when we had like the horrible wildfires here in
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the vineyards that are up north, like by Page Springs, they weren't actually damaged, I don't believe.
No, but they had
But
smoke
they had
taint.
so much smoke.
Yes.
Did you ever go to the
Yeah.
the wine, the Gruel and Grog?
No.
So at Page Springs Cellars in the cellar, you go inside and you have to bring a jacket. It's flipping cold.
Yeah.
And all these people make, it's called Gruel and Grog, and everybody who comes, they make like homemade soups and
Oh, nice.
stews, and you're in the cellar,
Mm.
but you're tasting barrel samples,
Yeah. Cool.
not fermented like ready to drink wine. And it's really fun. Some of them are effervescent. I know this is getting off topic of Pinot Noir,
No,
but
I'm
it made me
enjoying
think
this.
of terroir because they had us try some wine of grapes that had been picked from the year of when there were all those fires, and it literally tasted like you were drinking a campfire.
Yep.
It
Smoky.
tasted really, really
Interesting.
smoky. It smelled and
Interesting.
had that. Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what terroir is. Like the earth, the soil, the sun, the rain, whether there was enough rain or not, and blah blah blah. All that good stuff.
Well, we
So-
were fortunate to go to Napa and Sonoma recently.
Yeah.
You did?
Yes, we did.
When?
We traveled there
For
and
my
did
best
some
friend
tastings.
from kindergarten, Renee,
Uh-huh.
her birthday. We went there for her birthday.
Just
and,
like a month ago. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
and we went to Stag's Leap.
A month ago. It was more longer than
It was
that.
July.
Huh?
It was
We
July.
went to Stag's Leap, and
July. Yeah.
don't try to always fight us on
Oh
everything.
yes, it was
So we
July
went to-
because
I know
they
we
were
know.
in
Yeah.
Laguna.
July.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
We were in
Whatever.
Laguna Beach literally like one day within each other.
Yes, we were trying to get you to.
I
we were
remember
recruiting you.
I sent photos. I put photos on Instagram. That
And
I
I
was in
sent
Laguna.
her our photos.
And then she sent a photo. I'm
Yes.
like, oh my god, I was just there like 2 days ago.
which
Yes.
is incredible.
Anyway.
We missed each other.
But we
Okay.
were, but we went to Stag's Leap, and they were talking about the previous fires,
Because they had the fires and they.
and that's what brought the prices up of the wine. And so
Yes.
I was so lucky because for my birthday, Diane gave me a very special bottle of wine that was
From
very
Stag's Leap.
expensive from Stag's Leap.
Cabernet Sauvignon from
Yeah.
the Fay district.
So
yes. No.
Wonderful.
It's
Well over
super-
$300.
Wonderful.
Very
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Very special.
What's
so
the one
we'll have
that
to
we
drink it
drank
with
in
you.
your
Do you want to drink it
house?
with us? Because you'd appreciate it.
I
I
opened
know
one for
you
her.
know I would have.
I know
Is
you'd
that the
appreciate
one
it.
you opened for me?
No, it was a different.
I haven't drinking it
Okay, I
yet.
was gonna
It was
say.
Stag's Leap. It was,
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
the
it was
Fay.
Yeah.
okay.
No, but
It's
it was
the
Stag's
Fay.
Leap. That one was
It's
great
the
too.
Fay.
I gave her the Fay for
Yeah,
her
so
birthday.
we'll have to drink it with you.
Yeah, so that's terroir. That's our.
And they said the reason why the
long
prices went up is
story
because of all
around-
the fires.
Pardon
Yeah.
me.
The
Yes.
prices went up
Yeah,
because of all the
that
fires.
happens.
Because you
Supply
want
and
to age
demand.
them.
It reduced
so,
Yeah.
the supply.
the supply.
Right.
Exactly.
They don't have as much to sell, so they
Yeah.
have to sell the
Yeah.
ones they do have.
So we have another wine to taste. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, it's Diane's.
It's
Let's go.
Diane's.
Ooh, Here we go.
I'll have
Pass
you
it to
guys
Richard.
pour over there.
Okay, so
And
this
can you
one,
start talking about this
yes,
one? This is your wine.
This one I got from Gloria Ferrar, which was,
Yes.
was one of the first wineries in Carneros that they started out like sparkling, but because the terroir is perfect for both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, they planted 75% of their vineyards with Pinot Noir and 25% with Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And they make mostly sparkling, but they have these amazing Pinots, I think.
Yeah.
And we were there together.
And we were there together, and
And I'm not gonna say her last name, but this is Dr. Diane, who went to Stanford.
Yeah,
She's
she's a
smart.
doctor.
She has a photographic memory. If she learns something once, she knows it forever. Would you agree?
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
does.
oh,
Yes.
you guys are so
And
sweet.
and while she was in med school, she went to
Napa,
Napa and has a
Sonoma.
place there. So
I
that's
do,
what
yeah.
she's such a wine expert. I think she's more knowledgeable than most Psalms.
Well,
Would you
I
say?
would. No, I would not agree with
She
that.
she's
No.
humble. Wouldn't you
No, no,
agree?
no,
She
I
knows a
would
lot
not.
about.
No,
she's-
no. I don't want to agree with that.
She knows a lot, and she's humble.
But
She's like, yeah.
so
She knows more about Napa wines than I do.
Napa, yeah.
She knows a lot about
Sure.
Napa.
I would. I
You have a
want
lot
to
of
learn about the
experience
rest
there.
of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to learn the rest of the world. But
And she
I,
wants to become a Psalm. So
I think we should learn how to. Do
I know
that.
she and I. That's our.
Oh my god,
look
I'll
at this.
totally study with you.
Yes, let's do
I'll
it.
do it.
Oh
We're
my
doing
god,
it
that would
too.
be so
I'll do it
fun.
again.
Okay, we'll do it.
Again.
Okay, perfect.
I'll take the exam for the third
We'll do it
time.
too.
For the third time.
So
do too.
anyway, Gloria Ferrar Winery, they do both sparkling and still, but they only do Chardonnay and Pinot. And the Pinot is grown from the highest elevation that they have, which is like 280 feet. And the Chardonnay is like 120 feet. So it all depends on how that fog rolls in. And the
And this
Pinot
is in Carneros,
Carneros,
the
yes.
Sonoma side,
It's,
or the
No,
Napa side.
Napa.
it's both.
It's
they have,
both.
they
They're
own-
straddling the
They're
I thought this
straddling
one-
the border,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
got
But
it.
this one's from
Okay.
Napa side.
Yeah, yeah.
It says Sonoma on the bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
No, it
Okay.
straddles. They're
Okay.
I'm just
vineyard.
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Vineyards,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's at the top.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Because
And-
Carneros is the southernmost appellation
Yes.
in Napa,
yes,
and it does straddle Sonoma.
it does.
So it goes into Sonoma and Napa.
And theirs has both, yes. And so they have those different elevations, and they grow the Pinot Noir grapes higher up, a little bit more craggy. They have volcanic soil,
Yeah.
as opposed to the clay soil where the Chardonnay grapes are grown. But this is a 2021, and it has a lot of fruit.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
And
It is. It's
I
really.
love
It's so delicious.
You know, for a
love
Pinot, it's a
no,
it's
no, no.
chewy.
This might be my favorite.
I love it.
It's chewy.
Yes,
I might like this more than Willamette.
I love it.
Chet, let's hear Chet's taste. What would this cost if someone's going to buy it today?
$65 a bottle, not in a restaurant, but retail.
Retail. So if you go to the winery,
It'll-
$65.
Yeah, it'll be more in a restaurant.
Oh, double.
Double at least, yeah.
Delicious.
I would say I
Very
like
good.
it, but I would still say my favorite of the day is the Willamette.
This one?
Mhm.
Your favorite is Willamette. Thea's. Here, can you read this one? I can't
You can read.
see it. I don't have my readers. It says Thea something.
Thea's Selection.
Thea's
Pinot
selection.
Noir.
But that's
Lemelson
not the
Vineyards.
name. Yeah, Lemelson.
Okay, but my favorite is this one. And what do we call this one?
Gloria Ferrer.
This is the Gloria Ferrar
Gloria
Carneros
Ferrar.
Pinot Noir 2021. The Carneros Pinot Noir.
And,
This one is very good though.
I feel like this one's
Obviously,
lighter,
this is a woman-owned winery
Yes.
too.
which we love.
Just to make a point.
Which we love. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
It's amazing how many women winemakers there are in
Killing
Napa
this.
and that whole area.
It's interesting once you get
Not
into
necessarily.
the Pinot Noirs, you realize that there's so much flavor with a light. You know, I've been typically a cab
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
but
about.
this
It's more
the
nuanced.
Pinots.
Yes.
You know, you get to
Yes.
the point where your palate doesn't want to be hammered; it
Mhm.
wants to be
So you were
stroked.
saying.
Yes, it's so exotic and it's so intricate and intelligent, but it's also not heavy.
Yeah.
So good.
But
Wow.
this one
I'm
though,
impressed.
this fourth one, is the fullest of the four.
The
Yeah.
Gloria.
By far.
And it's the
Gloria.
highest alcohol
Gloria.
too, at 14.5.
Yeah, 14.
Which is not unusual.
Yeah, 14.5.
But
The
it's-
Lincourt was 14.1.
Yeah.
Wait, what's
It's
14.5 and
14.1.
what's 14.1?
Percentage
ABV.
alcohol.
Oh, really? So this is more alcohol?
A little bit,
Has
not
the
much.
most.
Yeah.
But I like
that's
that.
13.5.
Yeah,
I like
these
that
were both
too.
13.5, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is I think no. It's just
If we're trying to get a
13,
buzz for
13.5.
our date, don't we want to have a little more alcohol?
No, but it's definitely more full bodied.
So why would somebody want less or more alcohol? You serve wine all the time. As a sum.
Well, I mean, aside from the obvious reason to like get buzzed, the higher the alcohol, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Well,
Like, let's say Chet's taking his date out. And he
Sometimes
wants
the
them
higher
to get a
alcohol
little
ones have more of like a bite to it, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
They
So-
can be-
Yes,
no,
they do.
no.
I think so.
Well,
I think
that's
this
if
one-
they're not in balance.
This one's
High
in balance.
alcohol is just a result of picking grapes later so they have more sugar. The more sugar converts to higher alcohol. It's a very simple equation, okay?
Mhm. But why would
But
somebody want to?
sometimes
So somebody-
alcohol you get this stinging sensation on your tongue because it's the alcohol.
it's more spicy.
Well, it's just the alcohol.
I think it
If you ever drink straight alcohol, it's burned your mouth. So
Okay, I'm gonna do a taste. So
if a-
last one
if-
taste
if-
of that
if
one and
a-
this
if
one.
a wine is has the alcohol does not imbalance with the fruit and other aspects of the wine, then it's not in balance. That's when you're going to get a burny taste. on
Okay,
the
so
palate.
I don't think we did did everybody do a rating system on this
I
one?
don't know. I don't
The
think
Lynn
so.
Court, I don't think so. So we have to go through, everybody give their scoring on Lynn Court. Diane.
I thought it was delicious. I would say like 96.
Okay, Lynn Court, 96, Diane. And how would you describe it?
I think it was very balanced. It had nice fruit. It wasn't like it didn't have any like bite to it. It was smooth.
Balanced.
I agree.
Your
I think
turn.
it was really balanced. Really, I don't want to say. I don't want it to mean. I don't want to sound like it's just generic, but it's a really good, in my opinion, traditional American Pinot Noir. It represents it really well. It's medium bodied. It's flavorful though, and it's not boring. And
It's
it
exciting.
wasn't my favorite of the four. My favorite's the Burgundy.
Okay, but I called this one
Oh.
exotic and spicy. I thought it was exotic and spicy.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
fine.
My turn. Exotic and spicy.
Yeah.
I would give it 98 points. I thought it was delicious. I would
Yeah.
definitely buy that again if I can get it.
Yeah, I would probably give
And
it a 98
what
also.
would the cost be?
Oh, this is actually inexpensive if you don't have to ship it the way I did. It's like $20.
$20 retail.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
That's
Yeah,
really good.
That's
$20
really good.
retail.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
For
That's
the
great.
way it tastes, especially,
That's
it's
really
really
good.
good.
That's
Yeah.
really
Now
good.
they have this one, the 2021 is no longer available.
Right.
Well,
That's
it
really
is
good.
if you let me rephrase. If you go to the Lynn Court website and the folder that takes you to the Shop Foley Wines website,
Right.
you can only get to 2022.
Yeah.
And I think that one might be $40, maybe.
It would be twice as much
I don't know. I'd have to look.
from one vintage to the next.
I might be thinking of a different
That
wine.
could be a different wine.
I might be thinking of a different wine, but this vintage is not available
It's around 20.
on their site anymore. I got it on Shop Wine Direct,
And that was 20.
and it was 20.
Okay.
20 or 22.
Okay, that's
That was a
good.
great
That's
wine
good
for
value.
20 bucks.
Very good
But I
value.
bought.
Please
other
don't
things
forget,
with
these
it.
were both
the
over
shipping was like
35.
$18, so you know.
And you're 65, 20, 35, 35. Chet, what was your rating on this Lynn Court?
92.
Okay, love it.
Good.
How about Richard?
I already gave my comments on that wine. Again, it is a well-made wine that reflects the area and the vineyard that it comes from. It's terroir transparent, and it's very good.
Okay, and now we're gonna go to Diane's last rating of her wine, and because we're here saving the planet,
One
Yeah.
wine at
one
a time.
wine at a time, one shot at a time. Woo.
Yay.
Diane,
Oh, I love it. I think it's 98. I like the fruit. I like the raspberry and all of the fruit that it carries, and it doesn't have a bite, I don't think, even though it has
No,
a tiny
no.
bit more alcohol in
No.
it. But yeah, no, I love it.
The Gloria.
Yes, I
Yeah.
like the
Oh my
Gloria.
God,
it's
so
my
good.
favorite of the four. But
It's
and
so
what do you
good.
know about the vintner? Do you know anything about Gloria?
yeah, it was a couple who
She's
immigrated
got
here
a
from
great
Spain.
history, yeah.
Well, tell us about it.
They immigrated from Spain in like 1970s,
Okay.
and they came and they wanted to bring all their experience they had with winemaking, but they bought the property and they had to start from fresh. And the Pinot Noir actually has such the history that Richard was telling you, that it goes back generations. And so they had to plant their vineyards, and they had to bring in the variety to try to make a complex wine by experimenting not by generational experience.
I
So
love that.
I think
Yeah,
they did an
experimenting
amazing
for
job
that terroir.
from that terroir.
And what I was talking
Yes.
about before, I was about to mention
Yes.
that Pinot Noir, like other grapes, has a lot of different clones.
Yes,
And each clone has a
Yes.
slightly different characteristic.
100%.
So choosing the right clone for that terroir is a kind of a hit or miss thing.
and they had to
sometimes.
experiment with it. That's
Yeah,
what they
exactly.
did, hit or miss. And they
Getting
they
the
did.
right
They started
clone
with one
for
clone.
the soil. Yeah,
They started with one, and then they adjusted it with a couple more
yeah,
just to make it
yeah.
perfect the way they wanted.
And they started out making sparkling wines.
They did.
Yeah, which was
Even though they
Chardonnay
had-
and Pinot, which are the the grapes used in
Yes.
champagne,
Yes.
incidentally.
Like I said, their vineyards
Yeah,
were
yeah.
75% planted originally
Yeah.
with Pinot Noir
Yeah.
and 25%
But it's
with
interesting
Chardonnay.
because when you make a still wine for champagne, it's a very different
Yes.
style of wine. You wouldn't
100%.
drink it,
No.
but when you're making a
Yes.
wine to bottle as a still wine, not a sparkling wine, then they have to make that totally, grow it and make it totally differently.
Yes. The way Megan was describing how they harvest their grapes is the same for Gloria Ferrara. They
Yeah.
harvest them by hand, and the grapes are like, the reason they call them Pinot is because they're like that. I guess
Pine
that's
cone shape.
French for pine cone.
Pine
You know
cone.
that,
Because they
Pine
come in
chip.
clusters,
Yeah,
and they hand
They're so pretty.
pick them, and they
They're black.
put them in the
yeah, they're
baskets.
usually smaller grapes.
Black.
Not
Wait,
done
Wait,
by
so
machine.
they look like a pine cone.
They look like a pine cone, but they're clusters.
Yeah.
They're
Cluster,
clusters.
yeah. They're smaller
they just-
grapes and they're thin-skinned.
Yes.
So Pinot Noir has a reputation of being a difficult grape,
Yes.
to grow.
Yes.
Are they more difficult?
It needs the
Yeah.
the weather to be just right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Oh, so
it's-
is it hard to find any Pinots in Arizona then?
there are.
Good question.
Yeah.
That's
Great
a
question.
good question. This
Great
is
question.
not.
That'll be a future show.
Arizona is not a great place to grow
No,
Pinot.
not at all.
However,
I was assuming because we
There are-
haven't really had that.
Interesting.
I've
Interesting.
tasted there are two people making Pinot Noirs here that are very different from these, but they're pretty damn good wines.
But to
All
be
things
continued.
What
considered.
are they? So we can give them a shout out
I
for
don't
people that
remember.
want to drink.
So we'll do a
local.
different show with that, but here we only have a couple more minutes left. So I want everybody to pick. You have to pick one favorite wine here. You're gonna pick your favorite wine and why. Like if you could only choose one to go buy,
Thank you.
to take to a party, or on a date, or whatever it is, or for your dinner. What would it be? We'll start with Chet.
The Willamette. It was just
So this
the
one,
most unique to me. Yeah.
what's it called? Could you have to say
The actual vineyard was Lemelson, but it's from
Lemelson.
Willamette Valley.
Lemelson, yeah.
But what's the name of it?
It just said
You
Lemelson.
said Lemelson.
Lemelson?
Lemelson is the name of the vineyard,
Yep.
the winery. It's
And-
Lemelson Vineyard. Thea's Selection, Pinot Noir, Willamette Valley.
That's Chet's favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
So Richard, you're next. Which one's your favorite?
I don't have favorites, but they're all very good
If
wines.
you had to pick
I
one,
don't have to pick one.
yes, you do.
No,
I
don't.
like it. He
For
doesn't
this
have
show,
to-
if
No, if you're
Yeah.
going to a
Wow.
dinner, which one
I
would you
agree.
If
take?
you're going to dinner tomorrow
It
and you had to
depends
pick,
on what
if
you're
someone said you had to
eating
choose
and
one,
where you're going.
what would you
That's
pick?
you would say.
I would pick
That's a
I
mystery.
would pick the Lemelson then.
Okay, this one.
No, the
the one
Lemelson,
you've got
the one that I picked.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, you pick that one.
Very food
Okay.
friendly.
Megan,
Well,
one wine. You can only choose one.
I know it's hard. It's really hard.
I know, but
Because
this makes it fun.
I will say it depends 100% on what I was going to eat with it, or if I'm going to drink it alone.
It's your party.
I
Which one will you
really,
choose?
really, the Burgundy is what I like. The nose on the Burgundy was my absolute favorite nose on any of them.
Mhm.
There had earth. It had like that barnyard.
So this one.
Yes,
It's
but
certainly gonna be-
flavor wise, like mouthfeel, it's a contest between the Lincourt and
Yeah,
the Gloria Ferrara.
Totally different.
But choose one. 1, 2, 3, go. Because we only have less than a minute.
All right, I'll choose the Burgundy,
Pressure.
I guess.
Okay, Burgundy. Diane.
I like mine, the Gloria Ferrara.
I knew that's what you would choose, and I choose
There's
Diane.
Gloria.
Woo! We got two that choose it, so we won.
Yay.
Saving the planet, one wine
show
at a time.
Hey.
See you
Here we
next
go.
time.
Cheers.